All right, welcome in everybody to the latest At the Buzzer episode. I am your host and the leader of the network, Mo Money. With me, as always, is my partner in crime, my good buddy, the bistro of basketball knowledge, G. How you doing, G?
Doing pretty well, man. I think the term is 2 for 2, and we're not
Two
and we're
for
not
two.
we're not talking free throws. We're talking some of the best basketball one can watch on a Saturday afternoon, and we are blessed, as are the folks who got to catch the Nuggets and the Warriors take home some W's. So yeah, I'm a big fan of both squads, and love to see some OGs get it done, man. So I'm pretty excited about what we're seeing so far.
Well,
How about it?
let's run very quickly through the first two games of the afternoon. We had
Yeah.
Cleveland and Miami. I will be honest, I haven't watched a single second of this series. It does not interest me at all. Cleveland, as expected, has walked through Miami 3 games in a row. What's your take on the series, bro?
A dominance. Just nobody will care about Cleveland, so they're just letting people know that's fine. We're gonna act as if
No, first
they
of
don't
all,
have anything to prove, but they're acting like they're proving it. You know what I mean? They're walking the talk, even though they don't have to. It's just, yeah. Sorry.
while we got this on film, I'm gonna say this. It's not the fact that I don't care about the Cavaliers. It's the fact that I don't feel a threat in their competition that they're
Ooh,
currently playing in the first round. Sorry, Roll. I just don't see it, brother. I'm sorry, Roll. That hurts me to
that's
say
that's
it. But
that's crossfire. That's unnecessary shots fired. I think Roll is questioning right now why he's even here. He's like, what do I show up for? Just for some heat trashing? He's not sure anymore. He's questioning his own team now, thanks to you. That's brutal.
is this a bad time to remind him that we're still waiting on that intro he promised us?
Yeah, let's go. It's disappointment all around for the Heat. It sounds like.
Anyway, the Cavaliers are up 3 games to nothing. Roll. We love you. You know that. No, we're waiting on the next track from you, by the way, too. While we're at it.
Yeah, hook us up with an intro.
And cheap plug. If you're looking for some good hip hop tunes, it's at Roll Mac on YouTube. So there you go. It's easy to find.
Mm-hmm.
And
Much
we'll move
respect.
on to series two because I'm pretty sure everybody's done with us picking on our good buddy here.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's just not much to say about it other than Cleveland looks good and they've got the roster to
yeah.
win it all. They've got a roster to win it all. What can you say, man? They until it's proven, I know I can't say anything about it, but they've got the guys to win it all.
Well, I'll tell you what. Charles Barkley may have cursed them, but we'll get into that at a later date. So
Yeah, we'll pin it.
it's already.
Pin it on the Charles board for now.
But let's talk about the series that wrapped up today. Actually, is the first one to wrap up. The
Mercifully.
Oklahoma City Thunder versus the not so powerful Grizzlies. 4 games to nothing. The Grizzlies embarrassed themselves twice this week. First by getting blown out by 51, and then losing a 29-point lead. Gee, Taylor Jenkins looks like the coach of the year at this point. I say that somewhat sarcastically, but nobody's probably happier that he got let go than Taylor. What do you make of this collapse of this Grizzlies team in 4 games to the Thunder?
It's sad overall, like until a team's done, you kind of don't want to look down on them or whatever, or pity them. Pity is not a good thing, right? So you don't want to like pity, but it felt like a pitiful team. If you know what I mean, like it was depressing. It was just like Ja's not the guy. You know what it is, man? It's New Orleans with a better role players.
New Orleans with better role players. Ooh. And they came up
Shots
short today,
fired.
Mike. They came up short again today, 117 to 115. What did the Grizzlies do for 2026 that changes their fortunes from 2025?
The truth or what they're going to do as a business that's trying to figure out what to do next.
Well, what's the truth and what's the plan? Let's do it like that.
The hard truth that whether they're willing to do it or admit it, let's say admit it, is that Ja ain't that dude. I'm not saying he's not a dude, but he's
But he's
not.
not that dude.
And Jaren Jackson isn't either. So you've got an issue. It's not being done by committee because it's not a good leadership team. It's not Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley leading the way. It's not that maturity level, right? It's opposite. It's sort of like guys that just weren't able to manage professionalism, and it shows on their bodies and their minds and actions and stuff. So I think the truth is they have to restart. Nobody likes restarting, but you can make a lot from making a hard decision now because they still have value. It's the truth, but they're going to struggle and hold on to it, and it's going to turn into a situation that doesn't favor them.
For takes like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out other videos on the channel. Okay. So we've done the Grizzlies. We've done the Cavaliers. Now let's get to the fun stuff of the day. The Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers. And I hate to say it, but today was the Clippers doing Clipper things, dude.
Talk to me about it. What was the Clipper things that stood out to you?
It's the false hope, dude. It's the overall situation of being down 20 and then coming all the way back to take the lead and then losing at the end of the ball game. That's Clippers doing Clipper things, dude.
I would almost look at it the other way, is that the traditional Clippers would have just got blown out and sat on it, and it wasn't incompetence that lost it at the end. It was just, it was a fight to the death, and they lost a fight to the death, and that's okay. Like, they were in it, and they made themselves in it against a
See,
very good team.
I'd love to be as positive as you are right now, but
I mean,
however, I will. Can I shout out two things that are positive about the Clippers? Steve
please.
Ballmer going nuts during the whole comeback was absolutely awesome, and I'm gonna dub him the new Mark Cuban because we only had one Mark Cuban. Now we've got another one who's just so invested. He's there with the people as it should be. He cares about his team. Of course, it's the Clippers, but he cares about his team. He absolutely is. I I I root for his success like I root for Spike and the Knicks. You know what I mean?
He's Cuban with a firmware upgrade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what it is.
He's
And
Universal Soldier too.
the Clippers are the little brother to the Lakers, and every big brother eventually wants to see their little brother succeed.
Even Snoop Dogg. And if you got Snoop Dogg on side, I think you're all right in LA. They fought
Yeah,
hard. Like, that
they
was a
fought
fun
hard.
game.
It was a fun game. I just don't know how they're gonna react when they get to Denver.
Well, let's take it back to some of the early moments in this game that stood out to you, because I think each game of this series is like an event. Like, it really is. Like, in terms
And
of the
they've all played
quality of
out so
basketball,
differently.
like, nobody's showing up and crapping the bed in any of these Clippers
No,
Nuggets
that's
games.
not
It's like,
true. That's not true.
who?
Denver did it in game 3.
Yeah,
They
that's
sat
true. That's
Joker.
true. That's
They
true.
sat Joker. They went minus 14 and they never recovered.
Yeah. but I feel like the effort was still there from at least the supporting cast and Joker. Whereas some of these teams, you feel like they've just checked out, or there's incompetence of mind going, oh my God, I'm in the playoffs, and they just throw the ball into the stands. I don't feel like there's been a ton of that from the Nuggets, or the Clippers. And it just feels like a lot of veterans going at it, which is just the best. But that fight, Aaron Gordon
Oh,
was
I have to admit, that's
moving
tough.
those feet like it was. I don't know what you want to compare this to. Give me some analogies on this, man.
I would compare this to the good old hockey brawl at center ice. That's what you compare this to, because that's what this was. This was everybody lining up and taking a man. And the funniest thing was it wasn't even a Nugget that had Gordon. It was Zubac that had Gordon in that pile up, which was hilarious to me
Okay.
because, and
Oh, right.
maybe
Yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're saying.
he was the one holding Gordon back, like what?
Because he's
And
like,
I'm
this
like,
is for all
what?
of us, brother. He's like, this is so we don't, this is for the NBA. I think he was saying, like, because I see it in, like, Gordon snapped. He had that
I
thing.
don't.
He had
I
the eye of the Stewart, brother. He had Isaiah Stewart coursing through his veins. He was going to chase that dude through the tunnel.
see. Here's my problem. I'm old school. If you want to go, then you just go, brother. And if you get tossed, hey, that makes my night easier. I
But let
don't know
me,
what Zubac was thinking.
real talk, though. Aaron Gordon, when like he's not a full like always in control of his emotions guy, right? Like he's not Kawhi, he's not
No,
Zubac. Like
that's
he
why I let him
he
go
can
if I'm
go,
Zubac.
but it's sort of like as a responsible human on the court, you don't let your pit bull actually off the leash and kill somebody.
But what if it's not your pit bull?
You do it for the human race. Like you don't want to see somebody get mauled by a pit bull. Honestly, because Harden's
It
ready
remi-
for smoke, but he's not ready for that. Nobody's ready
it
for that.
reminds me of that old Brad Williams joke. You know how when most dogs get let off their leash, everybody goes, "Oh, it's not. It's cool. He's just a big old puppy. He's just playing with you, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And Brad Williams is sitting there, and he's a comedian, and he says, "No joke. The dog got off his leash. The owner turned to me and said, 'Run!'" And that was kind of the whole deal with Aaron Gordon. Like, just
Straight up. And I think, yeah, any other situation, you're totally right. Like, there's nobody that's going to grab another, like
no, you
the
just don't
opposing
do it.
team, unless you see as a, another adult slash human on the floor that, oh, this guy just snapped. Right. Like, from a human point of view, like Aaron Gordon wasn't there anymore. Aaron Gordon had gone off into sitting down, and it was pure pit bull. And for that
Like I
moment, he
said,
needed anybody to hold him back, anything and everything. Because as much as we want to see it, we don't want to see the actual results of that.
maybe I'm just old school, but that's just my take on it.
Could you imagine if he had gotten loose? Like, that's just for people that didn't see, or just for our own sake here. Do you remember how quickly he was moving around to
Oh yeah, he was
like
on a mission.
I have not seen anybody move like that since Isaiah Stewart. And that difference right there is like you just don't see it very often, right? That guy's like fully this is what I'm trying to say, sorry. They intend to actually follow through with the fucking threat. Most guys just want to look you in the eye and get chest to chest and
Oh no,
hold me,
this was
hold me
different.
back, bro. Hold me back. Aaron Gordon was like, no thoughts. The other people were like, oh, if we don't stop him, he might actually I don't know
Yeah,
what.
but like I grew up in an era where if you knock somebody on their ass, you don't pick them up. You wait for their teammate to pick them up.
Man. I mean, in my
I don't
mind
know,
though,
maybe.
I can barely even play it out of my mind if he got loose. Like what that unfold, because it would just keep going, right? Like if he got on top and started hammering Harden, it's brawl time, right? Like it's pandemonium melee if that goes down.
So you think Zubac just went for the betterment of everybody? I'm gonna hold you here, and
You know what? Pause on that for one quick second, man, because you're absolutely onto something. I think that's the dude of the week for me right there. I didn't mean to interject it, but for that reason, because I actually do believe he did it for the betterment of the sport. He's like, I'm down for tussling and fighting, but not when it looks like it might actually go malice.
see, I'm gonna go the other way. That's my dud of the week, dude. You just don't do that.
I respect it. I respect the opposing of it. Yeah. I just what play it
And
out though. What happens if he doesn't?
if he doesn't, Gordon gets into the fight. He gets suspended. You don't have to deal with him for game 4 or
But what
game
does
5.
that fight look like to you? Because you know what Aaron Gordon looks like. You know where he's from.
Yeah, I do. But
He's
I'm also trying to win a series. And if I don't have to deal with Aaron Gordon, I'm better off for it.
but what if you have to deal with a sorry? What if you have to deal with a fatality in James Harden not breathing? What it's like okay, deal with that, but we also have a criminal court on our hands now. It, I don't know, man. I just so rarely see professional athletes hit that level
I
of
just don't like that.
no.
I just don't like that it wasn't a teammate, I guess, is where I'm at with it.
Yeah, yeah. For that reason, I think it's a fair split on the dude of the week because I think you understand where I'm coming from.
I
But
understand exactly where you're coming from.
like, just watch
And
the
if
clip of the malice and watch the clip of Isaiah Stewart, and you'll feel that tension of like, oh yeah, if he didn't get him, that sucker goes off.
all right. But I'm gonna play it out to you like this. If he lets him go, Gordon's not there for the game winning shot either.
Facts, facts. But oh man, let's go to that then. Let's go to the last play. What was that?
That was an absolute travesty. There's no way you let that happen as the Los Angeles Clippers. There's no way that happens if you
I mean, how much was on the clock when they inbounded? 8 seconds,
point
right?
three. I believe it was
Oh,
point three.
like on
I
the
think it
shot,
was a lob up to Gordon into the hoop.
but it was a Jokic shot of airball
Oh yeah,
degree
it was a putback.
because it was like Jokic fade and he sent it sailing, and I thought, oh man, that's going to be over the cylinder because it was almost, but no, he
And
missed
Gordon
it
got the
so bad.
putback,
Yeah, he
which
missed it
they
so
still
bad,
look at.
dude. That's the closest one I've ever seen.
It wasn't really that close when you slow it down, but live time, yes, it was really the closest one we've ever seen. But this leads
Yeah.
me to the question I told you on the phone that I'd wait until the podcast so everybody could hear it.
Mhm.
And it's this: which is worse, being the team that came back from a 20-point lead to lose a game or losing a game by 25? Which is worse if you're the Los Angeles Clippers?
Getting beat by 25, like it will hurt more the closeness? And that's a great question, by the way, because I was like, ooh, but I had an immediate answer. You get more out of getting back in it, right? You don't want to just wash a game. No, you fought to the death and they snuck one on you just at the very, very end. And that feels to me like a fair thing. Like, hey man, okay, we're going head to head, me and you. You just got one last like jab on me. All right, all right. Rather than damn, he knocked me out in the sixth and I didn't get up. Right? You know what I mean? It's like at least he finished the fight.
Yeah, I guess I can see your point there. I think the mental edge that Denver now has especially going back to Denver, is going to play a key factor in Game 5.
Who are, yeah, I mean, everything's an X factor. Everybody's in it. Like this series, man, it can go so many different ways.
And
But
it just keeps changing.
man, Kawhi's level of focus combined with that old Clippers team, who can I label them? Can I be the first to put this label on the Clippers? They're the
All right.
second. They're the second chance somebody's. You know,
They're the second chance somebody's.
they're the
I like
redemption
that.
Ronalds. They're the yeah. Okay, we'll stick with that
The
then. But you know exactly what I
redemption
mean.
Ronalds.
You just
It's
whatever
better
words.
than what I've been calling them, that's for sure.
Like, let me just rattle off a few names for you here, right quick. Right, Ben Simmons,
Yeah.
the king of the most hated, most disrespected for good reason, all the things.
Hold on. Oh yeah, I was gonna bark there for a second, but I'll let you
No,
go.
no,
Ben
all the
Simmons.
stuff is valid. He just went down a hole, just all the everything. But then it comes to a point where you go, okay, what do I do with my life? Am I going to just disappear into oblivion and whatever? Or am I going to show my face, pull up my socks, and just get to work, man? And it looks like he just got to work and is doing his thing. Like there's no ego left. How could there be?
You do not have the right to have an ego, Mr. Ben Simmons. I'm sorry. That's just the way it
It's
goes.
kind of beautiful though, man. It's like it's gone. And he's just out there hustling, playing basketball. So I mean, at the worst minimum way that story could have gone, like it's a beautiful way to go, man. And that's the whole Clippers thing. Like Kawhi should not be this good right now. James Harden was washed. All these guys were just about done, and they found a way to have a second shot. These are the second chance somebodies, man. And that's a fun team to root for. Like I'm pretty sure even Patty Mills is kicking around there. Patty Mills? Patty Mills?
I saw Chris Dunn. I was like, he still plays?
Are we gonna put in who else would fit that mold of just like how are they
Nicholas
still
Batum was in Charlotte at one point.
Batum? That's a perfect one. Like these guys are so far at the end of their careers, and most people had forgotten about. Like, is Mark Gasol going to make a surprise appearance at the end here? What's fill in
Maybe
for?
for the league. Maybe they should have signed Mark Gasol instead of Alex Len, but who knows?
Man, I forgot about. Yeah. Anyways, that would have been an interesting scenario, but man. Second chance somebody's is a fun way to look at that team when you go down that roster, and yeah, you don't see too many people that are fresh and daisies. Even Ty Lue,
Like that.
he's looking better than normal, like physically and a bit more engaged. Like he looked
Well,
pretty sick for a while.
I'm glad Ty Lue looks healthy. For as much crap as I give Ty Lue,
Did you say
as
tired
long
Lou?
as huh?
Did you say tired Lou?
Did I say tired Lou?
Yeah.
As much crap as I give tired Lou, I'm glad he's healthy because that's the most important thing. Forget basketball.
Mm.
Tired Lou, as long as you're healthy, that's all that really matters, my brother.
Oh, that's a great nickname, Ed. Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great, great franchise to get a second chance here, hopefully, and have a new beginning for all of us.
I sincerely hope you're right, but I saw old Clipper tendencies drift back into existence today.
What I really noticed was that there wasn't as much like the Pacers type of mistakes at the end of games, where it's not just mistakes, it's the type of mistakes. Clippers didn't make any that I noticed of that nature. So when it's a Clippers thing, it's like, to me, that implies doing something kind of like almost like
The
Steve Urkel-esque,
the
you know,
Clippers,
like a just like, whoops, did I do that at the very end of the thing?
you
And
know
James
what,
Harden being like, ding.
you know what's funny about that is there's an episode because you know how clumsy Steve is, right?
Man,
And
half my life is
all of a
Steve Urkel.
sudden, all of a sudden, his brother gets on the basketball court and Urkel's the most coordinated human being on the face of the planet. I don't understand how that works. I
Let
know
me
it's a
tell you,
TV
bro.
show.
No,
I know
it's
it's a
not.
TV show,
It's like
but
me, brother.
no.
I walk into fence posts, man. I'm clumsy, but when I lock in, I don't know. I wouldn't want to play me.
I don't know. I still say Denver's gonna win the series because I don't
Step
believe in the
on.
Clippers. I
That's
want
fine.
to. I want to,
I like the
but
Nuggets to win it too.
I've reached the point with the Clippers like you've reached with the Pacers. You just don't expect them to. But here's the thing. While we're on the Pacers, real quick,
Yeah, no, that's
somebody's
good.
got to win that series. It's either going to be Doc Rivers or the Pacers. Who's your money on? Doc Rivers or the Pacers?
Doc.
Huh?
Doc.
Doc. He says in one word, Doc. Yeah,
What's up,
we'll
Doc?
see.
And you can clip this and send it to him because Doc, I'm the guy that believes in you when nobody else does. Just like Nico.
I will
I
give you
I believe.
1,000% credit for that because you've stood by Nico when nobody else will. So
And maybe just as a real quick aside, I want to say that because we haven't touched on, we probably shouldn't, because I would actually love to hear your opinion on the Bucks and Dame situation. But on that
I
quick note of the Nico thing, again, I want to make it publicly known that I still believe that there's something in the water, and he was the only one that was bold enough to tell the emperor the truth. And I think that's a great quality in somebody, and it's not
yes,
easy, and it's a lot easier to just look the other way and fall off the cliff and be like, whoa, whoops. Zion Ja come to mind.
I will say this about Nico, and then I'll leave it alone because I don't want to spend too much time on Nico because Nico's been buried enough about it.
Oh
I've
man,
said it
it's
already.
crazy. Even Tim McMahon, who I used to really love, I still love, but kind of questionable about
But
his
here's
turns
the
out.
thing:
And
Nico's now pissed off the Emperor, so
being
that could create issues later on. But that's all I'll say about Nico. That's all
that's
I'll say
fair.
about Nico because I will just go round and round.
No, that's
And
totally
Nico's
fair. And honestly, no, your side has been not your side, but like that. Everybody agrees type of thing. Like the there's no like counter jabs anywhere. It's like unanimous as black and white as anything has ever been. But I'm like, that's just not how
no,
life is. That's just
and
not
the
it.
and and the truth is, the reason why I just wanted to say that and leave it alone is because honestly, I just want to get this on film because people think I'm a Nico hater. I feel bad for the guy. Okay,
No, don't pity. I mean, again,
I
he's the guy that
I
just made the tough decision because that's what
no
tough
no
decision makers do.
no. I feel bad for the guy not because he made the decision, but because people are taking it to absurd levels.
And to
That's
me,
why
that says everything. It's like it's not you don't actually believe in these things. These are ways for you to express your energy, and that's
it's like
not find a better hobby in my mind.
I told you on the phone. Okay, here it is. I can believe the captain's an idiot, but I'm still gonna ride with the captain. That's it, and that's
It's
all I'll say.
yeah,
You
man.
want my opinion on the Dame and the Bucks? Here's my opinion on Dame, the Bucks, and the entire organization. Now that we've finished with Nico, and here it is. Milwaukee's playing a dangerous game, and I want to put into context how serious this injury is before people think I'm blowing things out of proportion. Because I know people in the comments will say Dame's medically cleared and he's looked good for the last 2 games,
Mm.
which is good. I'm glad. I love watching Dame play. But here's my thing: thrombosis is not something to be messed with. Okay?
Mm.
It's taken away careers like Chris Bosh. It's taken away time from what's the name of the guy the Raptors just got from New Orleans? Ingram
Oh
lost a
yeah.
year of his Ingram lost a year of his career. You know, Wembenyama has to sit out for 8 months.
And part of it, yeah.
And before you guys say, well, maybe they misdiagnosed Dame, I hope that's the case. But I hope the Bucks didn't rush back Dame because we're in the playoffs and we need you.
That would be really unsettling if that was the case. And I would hope that even somebody like Doc, as much as he has a reputation for blah 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 blah, that as a human with enough clout, I feel like I would hope he would step in and be like, no, 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 no.
No,
Right?
because
Like he seems a good enough human to at least put his like, hey, no,
and I'm not accusing anybody of nothing. What I'm saying is, how does it go from 3 weeks before the playoffs? We're gonna give you, or we're gonna claim that you have thrombosis, which is basically a blood clot, people.
And what I
And
heard,
then
and I don't know any. Sorry, yeah,
and just real quickly, and then I'll let you go. 3 weeks later, you're telling me he's cleared to play? What?
yeah. The piece that I heard that addresses that, and I am not a doctor, folks, and so I don't know, but they said they caught it soon, like they caught it very, very early in the stage. Whereas if you catch it later, the risk kind of goes like this. And again, this is just what I heard. Take it with whatever salt you like. I don't know if that matters significantly or not, but they did catch it early, and that's because of having daily tests. Just as athletes go, nobody would be that lucky typically. So if that's true, and there's an element of that, plus you've got $1 billion access to healthcare, here's hoping that everything is being done according to safe and responsible measures. And Gary Trent
Oh,
Jr.
we
is
have breaking
here.
news on the podcast.
Well, then just on the last, before we break it, Gary Trent Jr., you are my Eastern Conference dude of the week. I might not have believed in you always. You might not have believed in you always. But, brother, that will be the Gary Trent game. Gary Trent
See,
Jr. game. And that was
and I'm
badass.
gonna go back to this. I'm gonna go
Goggles
back to
on.
this again. How did the Raptors not trade him for something?
Hey, just because I'm going for Bobby Webster's job doesn't mean we have to, harp on him every podcast.
No, but that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But we do have some breaking news that you might want to touch on here, G, because it
Okay.
kind of concerns your favorite player out of the University of Duke. Common Maluch has declared for the 2025 NBA draft. And my apologies if I got the name wrong, but I gave it my best shot. But what do you think about Mr. Maluch going to the NBA after one season at Duke?
Skadoosh. Man, I think it's the best. I think he's super young. Oh man, knowing what happened to him on that last thing, I just hope it's nothing but some like positivity as this transition comes in for him. I think going to the NBA is a big step, but if you get the right organization, I think you could be a very lucky kind of person. And I think there's a team out there that goes by the Toronto Raptors that might be that type of franchise with those types of players right now that he would fit good with.
Knowing my luck, Cooper will go to Washington and Maluch will end up in Charlotte, and then I'll just be like, oh crap, there it goes.
I wonder what he's being projected at. Do you know what he's being projected at?
I don't know. It literally just 10 minutes ago came down the wire.
I had a nightmare feeling that he would be on Cleveland Cavaliers somehow. And that thought was very unsettling. He's one of the. I think he's the highest potential in the entire draft. Like he's got the highest ceiling.
Really?
Like Cooper Flag is in his own category. I almost don't even consider him part of the rate. He's hey man, it's cool to have transcendent aliens around once in a while. Like they don't happen
See,
all the time, but like it's cool.
here's my problem: is 2/5 of my starting five at Blue Devil Stadium there is gone now.
But you know what it is now? It's who's up next. You know they got the Boozer duo coming,
Next man up.
and we're not. Yeah, man, we're not fussing with that. I think those guys are going to be really good, and everybody
But
else that
now
comes through that. Yeah.
let's get to the final game of the evening. The Rockets missed a golden opportunity tonight. No pun intended.
Nicely done. And we'll have to go back to the Lakers too, because I don't think we have that on the pod either. But let's finish quickly with some Golden
Let's get,
State Houston
let's get through
updates,
tonight.
because this was in
Houston,
Golden
Houston
State
was up
or
the
Houston.
majority of the evening. Yeah, it was in Golden State.
Okay.
They were playing without Jimmy Butler. And Houston led for the majority of the evening. And then Golden State came storming back, took the lead, and never looked back. I mean, a very young Houston team that I thought was overmatched by Golden State. Did their inexperience just show up tonight?
Well, see,
And
this is the one you're gonna have to update me on, because as I was telling you there, I opted for my own version of Steph Curry, and was doing my best to rain threes down on the local hoops, but I saw the score. I saw the breakdown score per quarter, and I saw that the fourth seemed to be where Golden State really just blew them out.
yeah, and Sengun only had 15 points and Curry had 36.
What happened to Jalen Green? What did they do to him to frustrate him so much? Other than maybe this is just who he is. 7 points, 39 points, 9 points.
Kaminga itis.
Who else were they comparing that to? I know Chuck or somebody else was commenting on that. That's a very valid point, that you can't win like that because we're expecting a certain amount of performance, and if we can't get that expectation met, it's really hard to
I
win.
said that.
Okay, so you might as well have been
When
professional.
I was breaking down the Lakers, remember I said we need 25 from this guy, we need 22 from this guy, we need 9 from this guy.
Yeah, but you also need to know you're getting within that range, whereas
Yes.
Houston doesn't have another lead scorer. Like he needs to be putting in lead scorer
You
amount.
asked about Jalen? Okay. If I had to tell you, if you had to guess how many points Jalen Green had tonight, what would your number be?
Man, I saw the box score, so I can't give you an honest answer, but my guess of what
Yeah,
I
on an
would have.
average night, what would Jalen have?
He's renowned for being Jekyll Hyde, so I would have guessed if they lost, and I knew they lost, I'd be like under 10.
He had 9.
So you compare that to a guy like Shea, who's just consistency personified, plays a similar style, plays a similar position. Even Anthony Edwards, right, just averages such a consistent performance night to night. Like he's never just laying a goose egg type of performance.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a maturity thing that you've seen with guys, or is this a physical thing where this is just who they are? They just don't
It's
have
a
that.
learning thing. It's a learning thing. This is what I try to tell everybody about the Houston Rockets, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Who else can I throw in there that isn't quite ready for? No, I guess those would be the only two.
Yeah.
Oh, and but I always said, watch what these guys do under the bright lights because it matters.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma got lucky in a lot of ways by drawing the Grizzlies.
Is it
because
luck being number one?
no, they earned the privilege. Don't get it twisted. But the Grizzlies fell to 8, which helped them out. Which, hey, it's the playoffs. You take all the help you can get.
And I wouldn't even I would say it's not help. It's just whoever that 8 slot was going to be nowhere near the class of OKC. So pick and choose whatever team you want to put in there. But I think they would have made some pretty quick work with any of those at
If
8.
it was Dallas,
The soul was kind of gone there, right? You could see it. Like AD would have
um,
played, he probably would have put up Jokic numbers in that series. He would have gone 40, 20, 20 on a nightly basis, but they probably would have got swept. I hate to say it. The boys
just
just
for
didn't want to
context,
go.
I'll throw another name out there. Gary Payton II. What do you think he had tonight?
Ooh, I'm hoping 15.
16.
Ooh, see, that's an ideal number from a guy like that. Kaminga,
Buddy Hield. Let's do another one. Buddy Hield. What do you think Buddy had tonight?
if he can give me 8, I'm happy with that.
17 from Buddy
Oh,
Hield tonight.
see, that's huge. That he might be my, if I had to pick one X factor for the rest of
And
the series, it's going to be him.
Kaminga because he doesn't like the disappointment came with his traditional 7 points.
Let's not get
But
into Kaminga. That just depresses me.
but my point is this. I knew the Warriors would be trouble for the Rockets because the Rockets aren't ready for prime time yet. I remember when you said Houston could win the Western Conference, I was like, this year?
That was
And
the right response. Yeah.
like I said, it's not that I don't like the Houston makeup. It's they're not ready yet.
Yeah, I thought the veteran presence of some of these guys that know how to handle the big lights, like Freddie and Dylan Brooks and Steven Adams, would have balanced the tables out a little bit so that Jalen Green could assert himself on a nightly basis. You know, Şengün might be the other one that, unless he's asserting himself and succeeding, maybe that doesn't allow Jalen Green to be the person that he can like. I don't know. It's something they have to figure out between the
Well,
two.
he had 15 and 11, Sangoon did, for what
See,
that's worth.
I mean, that's the bonus numbers. We're getting into most overrated team numbers there.
Are we gonna
Yeah.
do the over? Are we gonna do the overrated versus overpaid thing like we talked about before? No,
Oh
we're
man,
gonna
no.
leave that.
Maybe we'll leave that one between us. I don't want to put too much shade on guys' names because everybody's trying hard.
No, because and let's be clear, everybody. When we do lists like that, everybody in the NBA could wipe the floor with us, so we're not taking shots at anybody here.
Well, I don't know. I'm cooking up a J, like a jumper there, man, that I'm starting to get nervous. What do I do with this? I might have to take it to the streets.
Like I said, there was a guy who would do the step backs and all the NBA moves in the YMCA, and people would come up to him and be like, "You should be in the NBA." He's like, "Oh, no way, brother. No way.
Yeah,
Just because I can do it to you doesn't mean I can do it to everybody else."
I remember having
And
a guy. Yeah,
and you know what that's called? It's called self-awareness, dude.
amen. And when you're that, and honestly, it's when you're actually that good, you know, right? How many more levels there are. If you're not really that good, you don't really know how far you really are away. Like, man, when I'm locked in, I'm like, oh, that's a professional shot. But I know the levels
There are
of
levels to
distance
it.
is like it's incomparable to anything how far the distance is. But you know, to the untrained person, they might be walking by and see me hit a couple, really long range ones. Go, oh, oh, what's that? And it's just, man, that's again how impressive these guys are. They're just in other universes.
Now, G, you wanted to talk about the Lakers. I wasn't going to bring it up, but we're going to talk about it because you asked me to.
Yeah, you don't get away with dodging the Lakers show on this podcast. Not on this podcast.
Maybe over there on that Hoop Collective, that small podcast they got running over there. But no, I'm
Oh,
just kidding. We
that
love you. We love you,
that
Wendy.
that juke joint, that
Yeah, those guys.
that cantina, nah, I don't know about them.
No, and what was on your mind regarding the Lakers tonight, G?
Well, I love to tease. I love to play. We've always gone back and forth, and they're your favorite team. So, what friend or podcast mate would I be without just some level of antagonizing you over the game? And we've talked about it a
Oh,
little bit, but my
you did
favorite
that
play.
last night quite
Can I give
well.
you my? Can I give you my favorite play?
You
Thank,
did that
thank
quite
you.
well last night, dude. But go ahead.
I got
As a
banned
matter of
from
fact,
NBA
G,
memes for that.
that's
They
from
banned
NBA
me,
memes.
and I put some much worse ones than that. There's some Luka fans out there that don't like.
G, do you want to show this? Do you want to show this meme? Do you want to
Well,
share your screen and show this to the crowd?
let's see here. Depending how long this takes me, but I make a lot of graphics. Yeah, if anybody needs any graphics done, let me know. No, it's going to be
Yeah,
too
we
hard.
need to get you an email that you can be contacted at, G, like safely.
Yeah, we'll put some demo stuff up eventually, but essentially the meme was Nico with his scar look, and I was referencing the play where Luka heard a whistle, and even though the guy in front of him was still playing, he decided that he should stop and not play. And that was the crux of the meme. We don't need to go on about it, but
No, I'm gonna talk about it because it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's Nico
I played
Harrison.
basketball for a while, but I've never seen a professional player
It's
do
Nico
that.
Harrison when he's kind of stroking his chin, and he's like, "Defense wins championships," and
Oh
it was
yeah,
the
here it
most.
is.
Let's show the people this meme, shall we?
All right,
This is
here we go.
ridiculous.
Share screen, share screen. Here it comes. Window.
Oh man, this was. I had fun with it. That was the most important part. Is you got to be able to take things in stride,
Yeah,
and this is
it's.
definite. Hold on, let me just pull this up here.
Oops.
I will add this to the stage. Here we go.
Can we see?
Where's the what? Do you?
Oh yeah, I
Is
gotta
there
put
one?
the other. Can you see
Yeah, this
that?
is the one. This is the one I liked with the whole face. Yeah, the moment Luka quit mid-play from a mystery whistle, his whining and cardio issues on full display. First of all, I'll give you the whining thing. I don't think that had anything to do with cardio, but I love the meme, so I had a lot of fun with it.
But it's so much
Anyway,
of what. Hold on, I'll have to stop sharing here. Made me
there
laugh
you
about it
go.
was everybody on the Lakers was kind of trying to play along. Like, yeah, didn't you hear that whistle? And everybody knows that's ever played basketball. Every coach says you play till the play stops, not if you heard a random noise. That's just the rule. You
No,
play
because
till the play stops.
there was whistles coming from the crowd one year, and they had to stop people from bringing them into the games.
Yeah, but the number one rule as a player is you don't stop playing until the play's dead. Just because you never
And
know.
that
You never know.
and that's why I was so mad at Zubats, because the rule has always been you don't help a teammate up off the floor. So when you're holding an opponent back from a scrap, that same logic applies. What are you doing?
How so? I don't follow that logic.
I just want to see Aaron Gordon throw down.
Dude, he could be UFC, I think. I think if he trained for a couple of years, the way, dude, can we? I almost want to pull that clip up. The way he was shuffling those puppies at the speed and velocity, like there's tussles all the time. The way this dude was moving to get it done was
My favorite though, and if you go back and listen to the commentary, you'll hear Reggie go, "This was nothing. This was nothing," and
talk.
it's the most absurd thing in the world because you can see
Yeah,
Aaron Gordon just ready to explode and go off on everybody,
you know what
and
that? Yeah,
the entire time Reggie's sitting there going, "This is nothing."
now that you say that, it reminded me that Reggie probably has some PTSD from his days in situations like that. So he probably has to tell himself over and over, everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. Like, you know what I mean? To get through those moments when you're in the center of it, I'm sure he had to do some like repetitive, this is nothing. This is nothing. This is nothing. You know? Spike Lee's trying to kill me. This is nothing. This is nothing.
He's still more impartial than Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah. Hey man, gotta love the brotherly love. He's looking out for Jeff. That's all.
Hey, if my brother's coaching on the bench, I'm not going to be impartial either. So,
Yeah, and man, yeah, the Lakers had a LeBron that was looking to kill. Like he was looking to end that little run pretty quick.
and and for you Laker fans that well, if Luka wasn't sick, we would have won. I'll say this like I've been saying to you all day, G. You got Luka's production from LeBron. You got LeBron's production from Luka. You got no excuse.
The team
There's no re.
game.
There's no re. If you suit up, you're in. That's it.
Yeah.
Like there's excuses are for losers. I'll say it even when we lose. It doesn't. The concept doesn't change just because my team lost.
Does that loss being the game three big one, does that give you nerves towards the whole series? Or like
No,
does
it, it, no.
does Goodwin not give you nerves? Like the fact that you have to rely on Goodwin and Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent to have decent games, like that feels like a horrible feeling to need to rely on that. As like you can
You know
rely
what?
on LeBron and Luka, no problem, all the other guys, but the fact you have to rely a little bit on a guy like unproven levels like that is a lot to
Here,
ask of those guys.
here's where I'm sitting because you know nobody knows this team better than me.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, you appreciated my breakdown earlier on the phone.
Big time.
But what I will say is this: because nobody knows this team better than me, I know we are better than the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, does that mean we'll beat the Minnesota Timberwolves? Absolutely not. They've already beaten us twice. They could easily win this series. What it gives me pause for, though, is the rest of the playoffs. Because I will tell you this: we may be better than Denver. We may be better than, the Rockets. We may be ready, but we're not better than OKC. We're not better than we're probably dead even with the Warriors. So the fact that we're playing with our food now, even if we get by them, it's creating bad habits for the rest of the playoffs. So does being down 2-1 to the Timberwolves give me pause for this series? No, but it gives me pause for the next series
Okay.
because the mistakes we're making by playing with our food now, we are not going to get away with when it comes to the Golden State Warriors or the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm not worried about the Minnesota Timberwolves. I
But
believe we are
you have
better than the Minnesota Timberwolves.
but you got your best from LeBron and it wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? Nobody's playing with their food when it comes to those guys. So what's left in the tank?
We
Like
had six unforced. unforced turnovers and 16 turnovers last night. If we keep our turnovers to 12, we'll be okay. 12 or less.
But it's hard for guys that
And
haven't played much NBA basketball to not turn the ball over in playoff speed. Like, I'm not
six
being
unforced.
cruel, but like Goodwin and these guys aren't traditional NBA players. They're like end of the bench guys that are hoping to get on the team. And now they're being asked to carry like serious loads on a consistent basis. So those turnovers to me aren't unforced. Those are natural from having a scab crew, essentially. Like if you're out at sea, it's like, hey man, they're doing the best they can, but they've only been mopping. They don't know the tricks of the trade yet. They don't know the little things, like.
I have no fear of the Minnesota Timberwolves. My fear comes from later on in the playoffs when we're not playing against teams that we can afford to play like this against.
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
The only person that gives me nerves is DiVincenzo. He has the ability to really screw a vibe up, but he can do the opposite too. He can bring the vibe right up to an 11 on a good
know who
level.
you're describing right now? You're describing Kyle Kuzma. You're basically comparing DiVincenzo to Kyle Kuzma.
Man, I don't. Yeah, oof. Yeah, I feel about the same about both. I've got a softer spot for Kuzma because I feel like he just didn't quite fit in the world of basketball and competitive sports. But DiVincenzo, man, I'd love to just elbow that guy in the sides once.
Oh,
there's quality pieces on the Timberwolves that I think you can't overlook. Of those guys are guys you can rely on when it comes to the Mike Conleys, the McDaniels, and it's a stacked sort of role player team that has enough of that goose in them to see it through.
But, I want to play a quick game with you if you don't mind.
Let's do it. Duck, duck, goose.
And it's called Who's Got More Pressure?
Classic. Okay, I like it.
Who's got more pressure right now? The Lakers or the Timberwolves?
Yeah, I think Lakers naturally being down 2-1. You got to win the next one, so the pressure is on. And because of where you are, people talk, and you don't want to give them something really juicy to talk about, right? You want to keep it medium core if you're the Lakers. You want to have a fair, solid series, but you don't want to burn out.
Who's got more pressure, Pacers or the Bucks?
Bucks. Everybody loses their job except Doc. If they lose.
That's a little bit unfair, is it not? Shouldn't Doc be the first guy out the door?
This should be the first lesson of life. It ain't fair, and Doc Rivers has your job.
That's simple. What they told. That's what they told Adrian Griffin the day he got fired.
Yeah,
who's got more pressure, the Pistons or the Knicks?
Same exact situation, but opposite with the Knicks. Thibodeau's fired, and everybody gets to have another round on the Knicks next year, but they will be criticized like they've never been criticized before, individually and collectively, except for OG and maybe, probably OG's safe. He's just such a down the middle guy. Brunson maybe will be safe because of his Kool-Aid effect thing. But Knicks need to win this series, bro. Knicks need that series.
Here's an interesting one. Who has more pressure, Cavaliers or the Thunder?
Best one yet. I think it's actually the Cavs. And the reason is money. I heard on a podcast today, don't know which one, of the numbers on their salaries, and they can't run it back. Essentially, because Evan Mobley got Defensive Player of the Year, they're going to have to cut somebody next year because
Oh, there you go.
he got a $45
It's the
million
award.
bonus, right? Like, it's just massive over 5 years. And it's like, or not even over 5 years, can't remember what it is, but it's on his contract, another 50. And that means like no more Ty Jerome maybe next year, or maybe not DeAndre Hunter. Like, you know what I mean? They're going to have to
So
lose
this is the
somebody.
Cavs
So
year, basically.
they did what the
It's this
Raptors
year
did.
or nothing.
Exactly. They went all in. They're like, all right, Marc Gasol, Serge. They just put everybody that they think could help them win the championship and on that dime this year. And Boston,
All right.
man, I got a question for you then. Who's got more pressure? Boston or Denver?
Denver, without a doubt. And I'll
Okay.
explain why. Boston has what's called house money. And for those of you who don't understand, Boston are the defending NBA champions. So if
But
they come up short, somehow this year, Boston be like, "Oh, we won it last year. It's not that big a deal." Denver cleaned house to make a statement. And if Denver doesn't get out of at least the second or the first round, there's going to be massive questions in Denver as to maybe it wasn't the management, maybe it was the makeup of this team, and there has to be changes made. So Denver, much like you think the Knicks, I think Denver needs this series from the Clippers.
Man, I just thought Jokic and Cat would be an interesting combo. Yeah, the Knicks really need that win. So I think the pressure question then for players, who has more pressure? Kawhi or LeBron?
LeBron, because LeBron's in the GOAT conversation.
Okay.
If Kawhi goes out and gets a third ring, he'll be celebrated, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then they'll be like, Kawhi's back. Kawhi's this. Kawhi. We always knew Kawhi had it in him.
Mm-hmm.
And if LeBron fails, it'll just be another failure in the GOAT debate that the MJ guys can be like, look, he failed again.
So it'd almost be better to not get to the finals if you're going to lose, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but you can't mail it in either. Like, you can't go out in the first round. Like, you can't afford a loss to the Timberwolves either.
Man, and they smell blood, so they're going to be coming to feast on that tomorrow. No, Sunday.
12:30 Sundays tomorrow.
Jeez, yeah, man. It is. Holy smokes! That's the game of the playoffs right there so far, because how that goes will define the narratives for all of ESPN and all these things, right? Like, it just becomes fodder for them, and I don't think that's fair for the Lakers, but the bad side of the Lakers thing is they will decimate you if you fucking lose.
I'm gonna throw a conspiracy theory out there.
Love it. Hit it.
I think it's the biggest game of the year too, but I think it's the biggest game of the year for Fox and ESPN and all the major sports outlets in North America.
Oh.
Because if Minnesota goes up 3-1, right? And LeBron and the Lakers lose in the first round, which is possible. I don't believe it'll happen, but it's possible. If let's say worst case scenario, it is Timberwolves in 5. Then there's no debate they can have in the summertime. There's no Michael and LeBron debate.
He'll
Because you
try to
just
make it.
lost to Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves in 5. And you don't have the other credentials to back you up either. You no longer have the you've never been out in the first round argument. You don't have the other credentials to back you up other than longevity. So if the Lakers lose in round 1, there's no debate in the summertime. And it's going to affect everything they do. So not
Man,
only is it the biggest game of the year for the Lakers, it's the biggest game of the year for ESPN and Fox, and Fox isn't even carrying the game.
it's not an NBA TV game, is it? It's an ESPN or
No,
TNT.
it's ABC. It's
ABC,
national
it's
TV.
top, yeah. So that is the biggest, literally the biggest game then we're talking about.
It's the biggest game of the year because if the Lakers go down in the first round, there's no debate in the summer.
Whew, then that brings me to the next pressure question. Who's got more pressure, Anthony Edwards or Luka Doncic? Doncic.
Luka,
Talk to me. Why?
because Luka's got to save LeBron.
Honest? Do you think he's got it in him?
Yes. Does
Do you
that
think
show up
he'll?
tomorrow? I'm not.
That's the question. Is that going to show up tomorrow, based on what you've seen so far this season from him, in terms of when times get tough?
Luka is at his best when he's got something to play for. Tomorrow, Luka's got something to play for.
And I hear
So
that, man.
I expect the best from Luka Doncic tomorrow.
Yeah, he has no flinch. He lives for that type of thing, right? And Minnesota knows that, and they're gonna like. It was great to see Gobert get a hand on the ball, in that classic Luka versus Rudy duel that they go at a few times. Rudy got the best of him on that last game, so I think Luka is going to come and show that you can't stop him. There's no limit. Like, there is no particular way that you could stop him when he wants to, other than leaving other guys so wide open that it would just frustrate the teammates to no end if they didn't get the ball, right? So if they can't hit those shots, that's your ticket to winning. If you're the Minnesota Timberwolves, you leave guys literally 18 feet just so Luka has to pass it,
Absolutely.
And if if Goodwin, those guys miss a couple, that can get in your head more. The morale gets down and stuff. So if you're the T-Wolves, you might as well just put 3 guys on
You know who the
Luka.
X Factor is going to be tomorrow? Is McDaniels.
I think so, man. He's on defensive, offensive, all around, everything.
I think Anthony Edwards is going to get his, and I think he needs McDaniels to step up and get his.
It's like, exactly, man. Anthony Edwards is everybody else's big brother, but he decided he needs one equal or older big brother, and he just nominated McDaniels, right? Like, it's his go-to comfort food when he's in the press conference and they're asking him some stupid question. 2 words, or 2 words. Jaden
It's Brady
McDaniels.
to Gronk. It's Brady to Gronk. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, yes, that's exactly it. And so if he plays his role as the nominated Robin in the situation, right? Because Randall's more of a, I don't know what you want to call Randall, man. He's like,
nobody's worried about Julius. And I'm not
he's my guy,
disrespecting
though.
Julius.
Let's put a respect on Julius. He's the ultimate lunchbox guy, man. He's always gotten kind of crapped on as being underperforming and never reached his expectations. But you want to talk about a guy that just is grindstone personified?
He hasn't reached his expectations, and that's why everybody kind of craps on him.
I just think it's not lack of effort. It's combination of things. It's not easy to play with the New York Knicks in the way that they were constructed, and it took a bit to get comfortable here. But it seems like they've got a decent thing going, and he's my X factor for that game tomorrow.
Yeah, well,
If he shows up, man, and he makes a problem for people, because that's the thing. They have to defend on the other end. If Luka is being forced to defend where he's the highlight reel, people are looking to cook him, that dunk that Anthony Edwards threw down on him, he doesn't want to see none of that. But if they make him, let's see what happens. That'll be a battle to the death. This is going to be a fun game, man.
It's going to be a fun game. And we got 3 others tomorrow as well. So don't be surprised, people, if you hear the 2 words come out of our mouth tomorrow of
Jaden McDaniels. Oh, wait. Emergency pod. Yeah, man.
Yeah, because I got a feeling whether the Lakers tie it up at 2 or they go down 3-1, we're going to have something to say.
You better believe it. I'd love to hear a fresh take as soon as that game's over and check in, see
Maybe
how.
We'll do a quick hit.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do an at the buzzer quick hit tomorrow as well.
We have the technology.
We have the manpower.
Mm-hmm.
We have the mission.
And we got.
But on that happy note, this has been your NBA playoff recap for what is it today? April the 26th.
26th, yeah. Locked in for what is going to be an epic day of basketball tomorrow. And man, oh man, there's been some highlight reel performances we haven't even got to talk about. But until the next one, this is prime basketball, buddy.
Well, I'm in no way a gambling expert, but just for fun, and I want to reference that just for fun, I'll give you my 4 picks for tomorrow's game.
Oh yeah, man, we got to get that more money in there. Ain't nothing wrong with just talking some odds like everybody else does, no doubt.
I think the Knicks, even though the Pistons are favored, I think the Knicks experience is going to come through, and I think the Knicks are going to go up 3-1.
Hope not. I hope not, man. I'm hoping Cade Cunningham snaps out of whatever Oxycontin coma he was in to start that game, and
that game 3 didn't inspire me. G is what I'm telling you.
It broke my heart a little bit. I was like, "What's going on? Did they give him the wrong coffee in the morning, the decaf kind or something?" Cade was not present, and he was.
I'm counting on Monster Luka tomorrow. I think the Lakers tied it too.
Yo, that's what's going to do it. If anything, man, it's the demoralizing nature of Monster Luka. It can break anybody.
I think Boston goes up 3-1. I think Orlando gave them their best shot in Game 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Boston goes on to close out the series from here.
Okay.
By the way, tip of the cap to Orlando. I don't want to talk like they're out or anything, but just tip of the cap to Orlando for not rolling over completely.
They understood the mission. If you want to win, you got to take it 2-11. You got to play some slam ball, and you can't have remorse about it.
And this is my toughest one, G, because I tell you this, I've lost faith in both of these teams, in both Milwaukee and Indiana. But Milwaukee's at home, so I'm taking the Bucks. That's the gist of it.
They've got a couple of guys that I really enjoy watching. Bobby Portis, Gary Trent Jr. Let's go. Giannis is a monster. I like those picks.
So we got Boston, Milwaukee, New York, and Los Angeles.
Yeah, other than New York and Los Angeles, we got our cards punched.
You're lucky you're such a good friend, G.
I
kid.
To infinity and beyond. It's a pleasure to be able to even talk basketball. So can't have fun. What are we doing?
And man, you know what? It's always funner in the playoffs. I got to be honest.
And this is the most physical playoffs I've seen in recent memory. And given my memory is not so good, but this is physical, man. Holy smokes.
Oh, by the way, I'm just going to say this, and this goes for all 15 teams remaining in this playoffs. If you don't get a call, keep playing to the end of the whistle.
I'm gonna ask my
Because do you
nephew,
not?
who's 11, if he's been told that in a practice before.
Because you know what happens is these guys, and I've seen it in multiple series with multiple teams. These guys quit playing, cry to the refs, and the other team puts a three in on the other end, and then all of a sudden you gotta go get it back. Keep playing. That's my
Man, because
advice. If you don't get a whistle, keep playing.
you never know what's going to happen, right? You play to the end of that whistle, you might get the block of the century. You might end up changing the game with a move that you could have been yapping, or you could have changed the game entirely. So, absolutely, man. I think that was just a wild. Yeah, I won't say anything else. That's memes say 1,000 words. It's good to play to the end. And
Play to the end.
it's gonna be a war tomorrow. Holy, is that in Staples?
No, that is in Target
The
Center.
the Wolf Den, eh? Oof. Doesn't matter, Luka, at this point. I think he probably would prefer it. Some
Good,
antagonism.
good thing they're a bunch of pups out there in
At
Minnesota.
until proven otherwise, I can't say anything. But something tells me there's some. Who knows? There's something brewing. Both sides. Both sides. There's
We'll,
things
we'll,
brewing.
we'll see what's going on tomorrow.
Jade McDaniels.
But the sports gods did me a favor because I got two sweats tomorrow. I got the Lakers at 12:30 and I got the Oilers at 6:30.
Nice, man.
So at least they're not on at the same time. So I
Can
gotta be honest, during that Bucks game, you're gonna have to fill me in almost entirely.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. I don't imagine I'm going to do anything else but watch some playoff basketball tomorrow, so I'll be able to update you.
I'll watch 3 out of 4. That's about all.
Same,
But that
same.
Oilers, but the Oilers are down 2-1 too. So
Mm,
I'll be watching that one starting at 6:30.
yeah. Respect to those that can find the entertainment value in hockey. Boring.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
No, I know it's the most exciting for a lot of people, but I've played hockey and I just don't even it
You,
doesn't
you're,
engage
you're
me.
talking you're talking about a sport where a guy can die and ask you when's my next turn.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just like, oh, we're going down to the other end. I don't know. It just the way basketball has explosiveness at each end. I feel like hockey's one long like. Don't pull your pen off the page. It's just got to go
Have you not
around and
seen
around
Connor
and around.
McDavid's artwork?
Nothing to take away from the high level artistry at work all times. Just from an entertainment value, just me with my eyeballs, whatever reason, snooze.
Wow.
I know. I wish it was different. It would give me a whole set of other things to watch during those insanely repetitive commercials
Do
that
me
we
a
get.
favor. Do me a favor. And just YouTube Mario Lemieux highlight reel.
Bro, I've got hockey cards somewhere in here. Like, I played hockey. Like, I got hockeyified. I was in a small town Ontario, small town Saskatchewan, hockey. I still like the game. Go play some shinny on the pond on a cold day, right? Not the NHL, bro. Not unless I'm looking to nap.
Whoa. That
Get a
hurts, G.
get a beer league go, whatever people play, like right on. I get that, but man, just something about the TV nature. Like I go to live games at Canucks I've been to, and that's more exciting for sure. I wouldn't have paid for it.
Maybe that's your problem. It's the city you represent. Maybe your issue there, pal.
But yeah, what's to cheer for? Canucks.
Hey, here, let's cheer for another podcast well done. As always, may your ego come from a place that keeps you humble. I'm Mo Money. G, any parting words for the people?
Follow through.
All right, on that one, We may or may not see you tomorrow, but until next time, Mamba